So me and my chat, we had a nice conversation about zombies and stuff. So I guess here it is.
The car is
What would I play in the Walking Dead situation? No, that's kind of tough. I'm not gonna lie. Realistically speaking, like a scavenger would be cool, but realistically speaking, I'd be like a watchman or something, like someone on guard duty or something. Like, there's no way I can ever like scavenge. Okay, if there was like one walker, I'd probably be able to handle myself. Cause they're like skinny and starving. In a realistic scenario, I'd probably be two chicken. Maybe over time, but at the beginning, at least, I'd be probably like a scout sniper. Yeah. Yeah, something like that. Eventually, maybe like a year in the Walking Dead, maybe I'll become a scavenger. But even then,
yes.
most likely be a wall guard. I don't have the guts to shoot someone though, so I couldn't.
Uh,
Well, are you talking about like an actual person or like a walker? Because walkers are pretty easy to shoot, right? Realistically. And they're not that bad to take care of. In my mind, it's just like thinking of like Call of Duty zombies or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But like, if I had to shoot a real person, like I don't think I could do that IRL. Yeah, walkers are pretty easy to kill. I don't know, understand how people like have that mindset, like in the show especially, where they're like, oh, I could never shoot a walker. They're a human in disguise. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like I don't think I could ever shoot a real person, realistically speaking. That's just the morals. I think most people in the Walking Dead scenario would actually go like insane within like a week of being there because like it's just hell, man. Like a lot of people saying like, oh, they're gonna survive like Rick Grimes, but have you seen what Rick Grimes has been through? He lost everyone, bro. He lost everyone. And like they said, oh yeah, I'm gonna be functional. I'm gonna toughen up, bro. It'll break you mentally, bro. You'd be broken, bro. You'd be going crazy, yo. Like I think realistically, we'd become like more of like a hunter gatherer type people. You know what I mean? Like I think it would have been hard to keep society because it's just like our minds just keep breaking after each loss. You know what I'm saying? So I think we would be evolved, bro. You think it would be all right? What if you had to kill a family member because they got bit? Yeah, I think people have too much confidence, right? Like, obviously, the best case scenario would be the Walking Dead zombies because there are way worse zombies. I'd do it. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like people are definitely overestimating, right? They see the beautiful sceneries of the show, a sense of peace in those times, right? Like, because there's no like laws or anything, right? They see those times and be like, oh, I want to be there. You know what I'm saying? I want to experience all that. But then when you like get down to the nitty gritty, bro, I've had to cut ties with families already. Yeah, but it's like I think it's just be harder to see that they're still alive, but knowing you can't do anything about it. That's gonna be the hard part. And then especially like if they wanna, pull the trigger themselves, it's so bad. And then there's sometimes a chance where you like everyone in your family dies. Like the risk of death is so much higher. It's yeah, I don't think I could ever go through that, man. It's too hard. And like there's too much loss and pain and suffering. I just don't think I can handle that. Like as much as like I say in the game that we should keep moving, realistically I would like to have a place to stay. You know what I mean? Because if you're not trying to live, then there's no point of surviving. That's a bar. Yeah, but it's the new lifestyle. You have to accept and adapt. Yeah, but it's still like maybe like later on, if you somehow survive a year, 2 years in, you could get used to it. But I think a month, a Walking Dead scenario, be with yourself, your friends, your family. Who in a Walking Dead scenario, I'd probably just be with whoever I am with at that time, right? Like, cause you never know if it ever started, right? You could be in your house, right? With your family, so you're stuck with your family. You could be in your car, maybe on the way home from work or school or something like that. So then you'd be by yourself then, or maybe you're hanging out with friends and then it starts. So it just really it depends on when it starts. That like that's the people you stick with, and obviously I think that's what they show in the game. That's like basically what happens, right? Like whoever you're with is who you're with, right? This is my mindset, right? Whoever you are with, just think of that as the only people left on Earth. Your family's dead, your friends are dead, right? These random group of people, that's all you know, and that's all you know, like who you're with. You know what I'm saying? My first word and thought of seeing a family member die, like I think, nah, it depends. Like it really depends on the scenario, right? If you are say if you're on the run right now, like if you're running, someone dies, that you got to keep it. Right? You're getting chased down by a herd of walkers. Someone just got bit or is on the ground dying. You got to keep moving, right? But if you are in a safe place for maybe a couple of weeks at that time, and then in between those weeks they die, I think you should take the time to like take it all in. You know what I'm saying? So like in the end of the day, like it's all situational, right? It all really depends on where you are in the Walking Dead. It's just like there are times where you can like just take it all in and say, okay, it's gonna be fine. We're gonna be okay. All right. And then there are times where you're like, we just gotta keep moving, gotta keep moving, gotta keep moving. You gotta protect the people who are walking with you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it really all depends on the situation. But besides that, yeah, I think it'd be really. Most people would probably 99% of people would probably go insane within like the first week, especially if they lose someone. Would take it all in, but you can't always think about that. That is true, but I just think like I think you could. I think there's a way where you can take the loss and like deal with it, but not in a way where you just shove it down your heart. Because if you do that, it's never gonna leave you. You know what I mean? Like you have to take time to like mourn and stuff. So if you don't do that, it's just gonna stick with you. You know what I mean? Like I feel like you need to accept it in a realistic manner. Go insane within the first week. It, no, honestly, no, that's actually so true. Cause no internet, no Wi-Fi. Like back then, the Walking Dead like story was generally created around the 2000s, early 2000s, 2010s. So they didn't really even have that much technology. So it's not like they were like chronically online. But like nowadays, oh my gosh, take back what I said, bro. It might just be everyone, because basically 99% of the world is literally online. And like just imagine as soon as the Wi-Fi goes off, and you realize, oh shoot, there's no Wi-Fi for the rest of my life. Like, dude, people would go chronically insane. Like, they would go absolutely crazy because, dude, when TikTok got banned, people were already going crazy, and we still had the entire internet, and people were going crazy because only TikTok. Now imagine TikTok, but everything else. You know what I mean? Google, Safari, calling, texting, everything would just be gone. I promise you, there's a lot more people that don't use Wi-Fi than you think. Around 74% of the people use it. Okay, so maybe 26% of the world doesn't go critically insane. Honestly, maybe within the first day, because I wouldn't be able to do so many things I hope to do in my life. Yeah. Like, I think, like, I don't want to say anything, but I feel like I'm a type of person who always tries and, like, takes the best of every situation. Like, I think, realistically, could I live without an internet? Maybe? Like, it's really hard. It's really hard to, like, imagine there's just a blackout right now in the winter storm right now. It's just a crazy coincidence. Um, but you can definitely live without the internet. I know there are some people who definitely just can't live without it. I think I'll be fine. But, like, as soon as one person in my group, right, it doesn't even have to be your family, right? Because like whatever group you're in, that's the people you know, and that's the only people you know, right? Any person that dies around you, dude, it's just it'll mentally get to you. Like, I think if I was in a random group of people, I think okay, I'm gonna say this. I think if you were with a random group of people during the apocalypse, I think you would have a less chance of going insane within like the first week or month than if you're like with a group of family or friends. Now, the main reason for that is because if you're with a random group of people, you don't really know them. You don't have that much affection for them. But like, if you're with your friends and stuff, and then they just die in front, that's the worst part. Dying in front of your own eyes. If you see them die, that's way worse than if they already died, right? You know what I mean? And you didn't see it. I've had too many family members die, and it doesn't bother me anymore. Well, yeah, there are some people in the world who's just like who are used to, who are at that point, like, who've had many family deaths. So I think people like that are probably be fine for the most part. But you still have, like, just the gruesome parts, the gruesome world that, like, people getting their organs ripped out, constantly getting eaten. Okay, low key, just to be much shocked at seeing the world now. Yeah, I think the main, like, even if you're like you could deal with the family death, just being in shock, seeing the world crumble is is insane. And I don't think like no, just I think probably the like if you're fine with like family deaths because you've been through a lot, then probably I think the world just crumbling in front of your own eyes would probably might get to you. But realistically, I think most people like maybe like 50% of the world would fall within like first week or month, you know what I'm saying? Because it's just like it's all about mindset. But yeah, as I said, like if I'm with a group of random people, I think I have a higher chance. Because like we're all there trying to survive, trying to get back to our families, friends, and stuff like that. And if they do die within that time period of trying to find them, I think like I'd take it better than if I actually saw them get their heart ripped out. Would they carry on characteristics? If they carried on like their own like characteristics, I think that's probably like a different type of zombie in a different genre. But I think in it would be like you are. I think like realistically, if they did carry out characteristics, it'd be so much harder because it's just like it looks like they're alive, right? They're just doing the things that they would normally do in their life, and then they just all of a sudden like just they just want to eat your brains. I think that'd be way worse, honestly. But I think for the most part, how long I would actually survive for, probably like I want to say a long period of time, but I'm either gonna survive a week or a month, and then or like 10 years. Because I think once you get through that early period, I think you're kind of set, unless you do something stupid or like something bad happens. But like other than that, if you can get past that first year, I think you're kind of set. You're kind of locked in. What about traits like physical parts? If they kept physical, I feel like the physical traits that'd be like something like 28 days later zombies. Dude, if we had those zombies, I'm not suicidal, but if we had the 28 days later zombies, and I was in the center of the UK, uh, 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 no way, no way, no way, am I dealing with that? World War Z zombies, Last of Us zombies. Literally any other zombies besides The Walking Dead, I don't think I can handle. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm pretty sure 99% of the world can handle. Cause it's like, dude, have you seen those? Let me pull up a clip of like, let's just do the 28 days later zombies. This scene was absolutely crazy. This scene's absolutely crazy. I remember, bro. I watched this movie like at like 12 a.m. in the morning, bro. I had lights out. Dude, it was some scenes actually got me. I'm not gonna lie, because it was just so quiet. Look at this! Look at this! Dude. Those are all dead bodies. Those are like people trying to stay safe, and they got mauled. Dude.
Hello?
He cooked himself here. He cooked himself here.
Hello?
He said one word. He said one word. You hear that? I think that priest was in 28 years later, but that's beside the note.
Water.
Look at that. You see that? Bro's tweaking! Bro is tweaking!
Are you okay?
That's one guy, by the way. That's one guy.
Shouldn't have done that.
Okay, what the hell is that? But that was one of them. One of imagine 100 of them chasing you. It's raps. And World War Z is World War Z. 3. Look at that. They are climbing the wall. What are these people doing?
I can get into India. Where do I start? Who do I speak with?
India's a black hole. Forget about Patient Zero.
I can't do that. It's too late for me to build a wall.
Look at that. Look at that.
I'm running out of time. I need specifics. I need answers.
I don't have answers. All you can do is find a way to hide.
They're smart. Look at that! Look at that! They are climbing a 200-foot wall like it's nothing. These guys are stupid. They're making the most noise possible. Look at that. Just falling and taking it like it's champ. No, wait, I saw that. What happened to bro? Yo, bro just took him out from the sky. That is not a zombie. That is a superhuman freak of a freak of nature right there. They just catapult themselves. That's low-key kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie. He's probably still alive, or that, you know. Was this the movie where Brad Pitt like had that meme where he was like cooking food in a shelter? I don't know. Look at that guy! Look at his head! His head is open. And he's... Bro, they just kidnapped him. Wow. Dude, like... Alright, chat. I gotta go use the bathroom.
Congrats.
But,